Hi guys, it's Tuesday and I have a layout for you from Make Paper Art. If you want to use my design team code to get 10% off of your order, then you can run over to her Etsy shop and pick you up some really cool cut files. So it is simply Tuesday 10. And so I took the bubble background cut file and just cut it out on my silhouette. I did make a few changes. I shrunk it down just a little bit and I cut off some edges. Psycho Sally, which is the nickname for my silhouette, wasn't being very cooperative. So there were a few edges that got cut off, and I just kind of trimmed up the edges and worked with it a little bit, and I think it turned out really cool and kind of wonky. So I'm going to take a bunch of my scraps and I'm going to back this cut file one circle at a time. Now there's some little loop-de-loos and they're not all circles because of Psycho Sally and because of my trim work, but I think the effect turned out super fun, and I wanted to do something that was not only, using a fun cut file, but backing it and getting like messy with mixed media and all that good stuff. So yeah, just a great way to use up your stash, your scraps, whatever you have that, is thrown into a bin that's kind of small pieces that you want to use up. A cut file like this works perfectly, and I know a lot of people have done this before, but I also go back and add, like I said, some mixed media. So several layers, a little bit longer video than I normally have, but I like the way it turned out. Plus, I was doing this on a live stream on, I believe it's Facebook. So I had to do a bunch of editing because it would have been super duper long. But I like the colors. This is just scraps that I had from that box of old kits that I had kind of disassembled and, thrown into this huge box, and I did a video on that if you want to go back and find it. And I'm going to try and use up as much scraps and little pieces from this box as I can. So I grabbed one of my cream colored cardstocks, and I thought that went very well because it's on a white, I cut it out on white and then I backed it with color. I thought the cream, just went perfectly, and I kind of wish I didn't go with mixed media on this background. I don't dislike that I did mixed media on it, but I just wish I would have left well enough alone. Let's put it that way. I don't know why, but I think the cut file and the little scraps behind it spoke for themselves, and I didn't need to get messier, but sometimes you just get carried away, and that's what I did here. So I grabbed some clear gesso and I go to town, and I am gonna just cover a lot of this lovely paper up, but you can still see the cut file showing through around the photo and some of the title work and stuff I do. So the cut file is still the star of the show, plus the photo. It draws your eye to the photo because it's right in the center, and it's just a picture of me and Bab in the pool. We're kind of having a photo shoot. It was fun. We were playing in the pool, and Bab was kind of being silly, and I was like, smile, and he started being all creepy and weird because he's silly, and I just think it was fun. I've got a lot of cute pictures from that night, and as you can see, I've just decided to trim this down a bit. And see how cute that is? I did some sewing. I took it to my machine. I sewed it. And I just love it just like that. And I know very quickly once I start in on this and start doing mixed media that it's not what I should have done. But it's done now, and I still have the cut file. That's the great news. So I can turn around and do another cut file just like this and back it and grab yet another picture from that night and do it all over again. And you know, not have the mixed media, and it could look totally different. And that's the great thing about having cut files, because you can just keep them forever. You can change them. You can manipulate them in Silhouette, or if you have Inkscape, or, you know, if you have like Adobe Illustrator, you can change them. You can shrink them. You can cut pieces of them out. You can, you know, weld pieces together, like different cut files you could put together. I mean, the amount of things you could do with a cut file are just endless. And so, so, you know, if you have one, you're like, oh, I've used it before, I don't really need to keep this one. That's not true. It may be that you just need a part of it, or that you need to change it in some way. And so I encourage you to play around with your cut files and do that, because it doesn't have to be just what the cut file looks like when you buy it. It can be anything that you want. And so that makes it super duper fun. And even though like this is a layout in the pool, I could do this little bubble background with like a little girl blowing bubbles at the park, or underwater, you know, bubbles sort of thing, or maybe bubbly champagne. I mean, like you could put a cut file with a bottle and cut some of these bubbles off and add them to the top of the champagne bottle, and there you have a brand new cut file. So it's 2 in 1. But just some ideas to kind of get your creative juices flowing, and all the fun ways you can use cut files. So like I said, the possibilities are endless. It's fantastic. So using more scraps, you may have seen me use this color recently. It's an older paper by Bo Bunny, and I just went nuts on all their double dot, but it has the brown in it, which is not my favorite distress, with like the browns and pinks. Like that's very early 2000s to me. But if you put it on the back of a photo, or just as trim or something, you can kind of avoid it being obviously not your color scheme anymore. But I do love the pink. I just didn't like the distress marks in the brown. So just gonna layer up this photo a little bit. And then the back is kind of a toile on that one, so I don't really need that anymore. I used to do a bunch with like toiles and French and Parisian type prints, and you know, more nostalgic, and not anymore. I'm really light and pastel-y, and of course I think everybody's, you know, process evolves and changes, and you got to keep it fun, and that's what I do. You can look at my old albums and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Tuesday did this, and you can look at my new albums and go, oh, well, this looks like Tuesday. So, but do you know what? In 2 or 3 years, it might not look like Tuesday anymore. It may look totally different. So, I certainly never did mixed media like I do now, back in the day. But, you know, I've been scrapbooking for 20 years. I just can't believe that either. I was so excited when I found this industry. Oh, I'm talking with my hands because I was doing a live stream. And I thought I cut this portion out, but who knows? Because at first I kind of lost this video, and I was like, oh no. And I figured out a trick. YouTube is a wonderful thing. You can find out what happens when your video turns black and how to fix it. So, which has happened to me before, and I lost the entire video and was very upset. This time I did so much editing, I was like, there is no way I'm losing this video. So I pulled in the Bab and said, help. And he said, I cannot help you with this. I've got to get on a call. He's working from home today. And then I Googled it, and YouTube popped up, and this wonderful guy named Strans Vanderploeg from March 8th, 2017 told me how to fix it. So I am so appreciative of you, Strans, and cannot thank you enough, because now I know if it happens again, I'm golden. I know how to fix it. So I was thinking about using this yellow as a background. I'm kind of explaining why I'm not, because it is a bit of a golden ombre, and even though I have gold shimmers and stuff in the mixed media, and I use Pop Art Pink, and it's got a little bit of gold glitter in it. I didn't end up really liking that ombre gold color because it was kind of brownish, and so I'm just explaining that here while I'm live streaming. So I guess some of my edits did return or get stuck in and did not get removed quite the way I expected, so sorry about that. So then I flipped it over and I loved this, and so because I had a plain background that I added all of that cut file and messiness to, I decided I needed a patterned type of subtle frame, and so that's what I did here. And I kind of wish I had torn the edge, but I just have so much going on. You know, you watch your videos play back and you're like, huh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And my whole thing was I was chatting while I was doing this, and it's so hard for me to make a video plus chat. It's just, I don't know. I'm not multi-talented like that. So, still digging into my scraps. I did take some of these Paige Evans 6x6 papers and trimmed out a couple of sayings. I end up using one. It's not the one that's up there. It's another one that's going to be tall and skinny that says "You're the best," and it's blue and gold. I don't remember what the red one says, but I don't use it. So, and then I believe this frame is from Paige Evans, and also the center of it had the words "moments," and I'm gonna put that on there as well because I think these pinks and these blues go very well together because, you know, I backed it with all these scraps. I must be saying goodbye to someone. So I backed it with all these scraps, and then I was like, well, I can pretty much use any colors I want because everything's neutral except for the water in the pool. So yeah, it just made it easy. And then this huge title card I end up using, which I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't overwhelming for me. I'll add it to the left, and it simply says the things you're passionate about are not random. They are your calling. So we are passionate about spending time together, and since True has moved out, you know, it's just me and Bab the last few days. Now, I have literally cried every day, except for today. I saw her today, and she snipped at me over, like, when she left. Of course, her bathroom's dirty and drawers are dirty, and there's some things she left behind, and I think she was just ready. She was sick of moving. She was ready to have her stuff out and be done. And so, you know, I'm Mama Bear, and this is my home. And I'm kind of a clean freak, and I proceeded to go in there yesterday and do a bunch of cleaning. So cleaning, you know, bathtubs and floors and all the normal stuff. But I ran across some of her things, and I had asked her if she was going to get them and that I had boxed them up, and that did not settle well with her. She seems to think that was you know, me trying to get her stuff out, which, you know, anyway, I don't think I'll be crying today because she literally like bit my head off over this, and she was being very emotional, and I don't know if it's because she misses being home already or if the whole move is just, I mean, it's obviously a big change for both of us, and I'm having adjustment issues, and she is way more sensitive and emotional of a creature than I am, and if I'm having this hard of a time, I can only imagine how hard of a time it is for her emotionally. So I'm going to give her credit for that, but I haven't cried today because she bit my head off. So the dues we pay as a mother, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to miss her. Who do I, you know, feed leftovers, and who do I make turkey bacon for, and who do, you know, and oh, you know, this is the last time I'll be folding up her sheets, and this, and then she does something like that, and you're like, wait a minute, okay, now I realize she's big enough to be on her own. She's got, you know, she's got her own mind, she's got her own opinions, she's 23 years old, she's gonna be fine. So it's nature's way of reminding me, right? So here I am going through, let's see, I'm just making sure how long my video is because I did lose some edits. So yeah, I'm going to go through some of these little label stickers and use a couple of them. One says soulmates and one says loving you, and then one says this life. And they're subtle enough that they don't stand out on the page, but they just add that little extra. And I think I'm also going to add some cocoa vanilla wood veneer. And there's some hearts and some stars that I'm going to add. Yeah, I'm just making sure everything's straight because, oh, I ended up moving that one up. And actually, those stickers, those citrus twist labels stuck really well. I'm kind of impressed because nothing normally sticks to gesso. And I actually had trouble getting those up. So here I'm bringing in the wood veneer, and that one 4x6 card that I showed you that had an ampersand on it is going to be my journal card that I'm going to write on and put on the back of the layout. And I'm also going to add some enamel dots. I think those are cocoa vanilla as well. There you go. Yes, I believe so. So Endless Summer. There you go. And that wraps it up. I think I might add a few more splatters, but other than that, I am finished. At the end of this video, I will have information on the Etsy shop where you can go get your cut files from Make Paper Art. And I'm also going to have it in the description bar below. There are still pictures. I will be doing my Make Paper Art design team layout today in August the 5th, and also August 19th. So hopefully you can join me for the next one. And I like how it turned out. I mean, the more I look at it on film, the more I like it. But I'm going to have to make another one of these and not do the mixed media, just so I can get it out of my system. So anyway, I will talk to you later. More videos to come, and I appreciate you watching. If you like the vid, please thumbs up so other people can find me and I can still enjoy and inspire you the best of my abilities. So ta-ta for now. Bye.